My wife left me for a richer man. At least, that's what everyone said. She packed 2 suitcases, kissed our 5-year-old son on the forehead, and told me she needed a better life. Then she walked out the front door and into the passenger seat of a silver Mercedes waiting outside. I stood there frozen, my son Noah holding onto my leg, asking, "Daddy, when is Mommy coming back?" That question stayed with me for 2 years. Before we get into this heartbreaking betrayal story, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me, would you ever take someone back after they left you for money? Her name was Vanessa, and for 7 years, I thought she was the love of my life. We lived in a small town just outside Seattle. Nothing fancy. I worked as a high school teacher, and she worked part-time at a luxury clothing store downtown. Money was never overflowing, but we were comfortable. We had our son, a decent home, and what I believe was a real marriage. But things changed when Vanessa started working with wealthy clients. At first, it was little comments. Do you know one woman spent $12,000 on a handbag today? Then it became comparisons. Can you imagine what life would be like if we didn't have to check grocery prices? Soon, she started talking about a man named Adrian. He was one of the store's biggest clients. Mid-40s, private investor, always in expensive suits, drove imported cars, and tipped everyone around like money meant nothing. I didn't like how often his name came up. But every time I brought it up, Vanessa brushed it off. He's just a customer, Mark. Stop being insecure. I wanted to trust her. Then one Friday night, she came home glowing in a way I hadn't seen in years. She walked into the kitchen, leaned against the counter, and said the words that changed my life. I can't do this anymore. I thought she meant the marriage needed work. I was wrong. I've met someone, she said. The room went silent. I remember staring at her, waiting for the punchline that never came. She didn't even cry. She just calmly explained that Adrian could give her the life she deserved. A bigger house, better schools, luxury vacations, designer clothes. Then came the line that burned into my memory. I'm tired of surviving, Mark. I want to live. As if the life we built together was some kind of punishment. I asked about Noah. She said, he'll understand when he's older. No, he didn't. He cried for weeks, for months. He'd leave drawings by the front door in case she came back. A stick-figure family with all 3 of us holding hands. Every single one broke me. The divorce happened fast. Vanessa barely fought for anything except her clothes, jewelry, and a few personal things. She signed shared custody papers, but almost never used her time. At first, she called Noah every weekend, then every other weekend, then once a month, then almost nothing. Meanwhile, I rebuilt. It wasn't easy. I had nights where I sat on the bathroom floor after putting Noah to bed, wondering what I had done wrong. But slowly, life got better. I focused on my son. I started tutoring students online after school, which unexpectedly turned into a full education business. Parents wanted help, referrals spread, and within a year, I had launched a private academic coaching company. The irony wasn't lost on me. The man Vanessa left because he had no future was suddenly doing better than ever. By the second year, I had hired staff, rented office space, and was making more money than I ever imagined. Noah was thriving too. He was 7 now, smarter, happier, and finally laughing without that sadness in his eyes. Then one rainy Tuesday evening, the doorbell rang. I opened the door and nearly dropped the mug in my hand. Vanessa, she looked nothing like the woman who had left. The expensive glow was gone. Her mascara was smudged. Her coat looked old. Her eyes were swollen from crying. "Mark," she whispered, "can we talk?" Before we continue, like and subscribe if you already feel the karma building faced with open mouth fire. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. The first thing she said was, "I made a mistake." Of course she did. I crossed my arms and waited. Her voice shook as she told me Adrian had lost almost everything. A federal investigation had frozen his accounts after fraud allegations from one of his companies. The mansions, the cars, the luxury lifestyle, it had all been built on lies and risky schemes. The moment the money disappeared, so did the dream. "He changed," she said through tears. I almost laughed. No, The money changed, or rather, the lack of it. She looked at me with desperate eyes. I want my family back. That sentence hit like an insult. My family? The family she abandoned for designer bags and first-class flights? I stared at her for a long moment. Then I asked the only question that mattered. Why now? Her face crumpled. I miss Noah. I miss us. I was stupid. I believed one part of that. She was definitely stupid. But then came the twist I never expected. She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. There's something else, she said. Inside were legal documents. At first, I thought it was about custody. But it wasn't. It was Adrian's will. My stomach dropped. Vanessa explained that Adrian had died in a car crash 3 weeks earlier, and in a move nobody expected. He had left everything that remained in his estate to Noah, not to Vanessa, to my son. I looked at her in disbelief. Why would he do that? That's when she told me the shocking secret. For 2 years, Adrian had quietly paid for Noah's school activities, birthday gifts, and even a trust fund. Not because he loved Vanessa, because he felt guilty. The night Vanessa left me, Adrian had learned she was married with a child. He wanted to end it, but Vanessa begged him not to. She lied and told him our marriage was already dead. When he later discovered the truth and saw how much Noah had suffered, the guilt ate at him. And now, after his death, the last of his legal estate was being transferred to my son. Vanessa looked at me hopefully, like this secret somehow opened the door for forgiveness. It did the opposite. It confirmed everything. She had built her life on lies. Again, I looked her dead in the eyes. You don't miss me. Vanessa, you miss security. Her silence said enough. Then the front door opened behind me. Noah stood there in his pajamas. Looking up at his mother, she immediately burst into tears. Baby. But Noah cut her off with a quiet sentence that hit harder than anything. Daddy said some people only come back when they need something. I had never even told him that. Kids just understand more than we think. Vanessa broke down completely. But this time I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just clarity. I took the envelope, told her any future contact would go through our lawyer, and closed the door. 1 month later, Noah's trust fund was finalized. It was enough to secure his education and future. And the woman who left us for wealth ended up watching the life she wanted to go to the son she abandoned. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from hurting people. Sometimes life simply lets them watch what they threw away. If this betrayal story shocked you, like, subscribe, and comment. Karma always wins. For more family drama, cheating, and revenge stories with explosive twists,